Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a topic that, believe it or not, quietly shapes almost everything, from global politics to what happens in your own office. We're talking about the power of belief and why getting a handle on it is more critical now than ever before. Okay, let's just start with this. This wasn't some random person yelling on a street corner. This was a U.S. congressman speaking after 9/11. And he was talking about the Sikh turban. It's a really shocking and frankly perfect example of what happens when profound ignorance about religion hits the public stage. And this kind of ignorance isn't just about hurtful words. It has very real, very scary consequences. Look at this. In 2017 alone, the United States saw anti-Semitic incidents jump by nearly 60%. That's the biggest single-year increase ever recorded. It's a sign that something is going seriously wrong. And this stuff shows up where we live and work. This is a real bumper sticker that was seen in a company parking lot. Just try to imagine for a second that you're a Muslim employee, and you have to walk past this on your coworker's car every single morning. That's the kind of hostile environment this creates. And for businesses, this ignorance, it gets expensive, really expensive. We're talking major lawsuits against huge companies like Abercrombie, Walmart, and AutoZone, all for religious discrimination. So the point here is, this isn't some abstract academic problem. It's practical, it's costly, and it affects real people's lives. So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, researchers actually have a name for the skill we're all missing. And it's a kind of literacy that you probably don't have on your resume, but maybe you should. It's called religious literacy. And let's be super clear about what this is and what it isn't. This is not about you becoming religious. It's not about believing any of this stuff. It's about having a basic functional knowledge of how these belief systems work and why they're such a powerful force in our world. Now, some scholars are taking this idea even one step further to something they call religious meta-literacy. This is next-level stuff. It's not just about knowing the facts. It's about understanding the entire information system. How are religious ideas made? How are they shared? How do we even know what we know? It's about thinking critically about the information itself. And this comparison just nails it, right? Knowing random facts about religion is like preparing for a trivia night. It's surface level. But being religiously literate, that's like reading the whole story. It's understanding the context, the nuance, and the deep motivations that actually drive human behavior. So to really get this, let's pull back the curtain a little. Let's look at how religious information gets created in the first place. How do religious leaders, who you could say are the original information influencers, actually do their work? Well, research into Christian clergy found something fascinating. They basically operate in two different modes. When they're preparing a sermon, their world is pretty closed. They stick to their own approved theological sources. But when they're helping a person one-on-one, the system becomes open. They'll pull in ideas from anywhere, psychology, social work, you name it. And the process of writing that sermon, it's way more structured than you might think. It's not just divine inspiration. There's a method. They consult a church calendar, they gauge their audience, they do the hard work of bridging a 2,000-year-old text to modern life, and they reflect. It's this incredible mix of ancient tradition and modern communication. But here's the catch. There's a huge disconnect. You have nearly every single pastor saying that this kind of deep literacy is vital, but at the same time, you have many people in the pews saying, yeah, but we're not getting the tools we need to do it ourselves. And that gap, well, it leaves a lot of people searching for answers on their own. So where does that search lead them? You already know the answer. The internet. Because it's not just pastors and priests creating religious information anymore. The digital world has totally and completely changed the game. And here, researchers make this really crucial distinction. There's religion online, that's top-down. Think of the official Vatican website. The institution is broadcasting a message to you. But then there's online religion, and that's bottom-up. That's people like you and me, creating their own communities on Discord or Facebook, debating, and even creating new ways of being religious. And the speed of this change is just staggering. I mean, it went from simple text websites in the 90s to this massive, sprawling ecosystem we have today.
We're talking live stream services, theological podcasts, and yeah, even religious memes that are shaping how a new generation thinks about faith and community. Okay, so we've got all this information swirling around, the official stuff, the user-generated stuff. So how do our big public secular institutions like schools and museums deal with all of it? This is where it gets really, really tricky.
Well, often they don't deal with it very well. One researcher actually coined this term religious information poverty to describe what's happening. A study in Australia, for example, found that the average student couldn't even tell the difference between the Buddha and an Ayatollah. When your education system has gaps that big, it's a problem for everyone.
And look at the tough spot a place like a museum is in. They do this thing called museumification. They take an object that was sacred, that was used in rituals, that was meant to be experienced, and they put it in a glass box. They turn it from something spiritual into something historical or artistic. And in doing that, you can't help but strip away some of its original, powerful meaning.
So what's the future look like? How do we bridge these gaps? Well, some thinkers have proposed a pretty cool idea, a new kind of public institution called an information sanctuary. Imagine a place that has all the rational, fact-based resources of a library, but also has spaces designed for the quiet, contemplative needs that religion and spirituality have always tried to fill. And that really gets us to the ultimate question at the heart of all this, doesn't it? We live in a world that is just drowning in data and information. But in that endless scroll, we're all still just looking for a little bit of wisdom. Understanding how billions of people have searched for that wisdom throughout history, well, that's not just about avoiding conflict. In an age of data, understanding belief might just be the most vital literacy of all.